All right, so now to our first conversation. Since oil was discovered in Nigeria in 1956 at Loibiri in the Niger Delta, after half a century of exploration, we're dealing with issues of oil thefts. But one good thing, we have a working refinery, stream at this point. But how do we shape the future of Nigeria's oil and gas industry so all of Nigeria can benefit from this great resource? Well, joining me for this conversation is Chief Anabs Saraive, is a national coordinator of South-South Leadership Forum. Great to have you on the show, Chief.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's great to have you. But before we get, into it, let's kick off the conversation with what's happening with River State. To see the local government election there getting a lot of attention. Right now, we reports of attempts to steal election materials. And definitely, we know how much River State contributes to oil production in Nigeria. So how are you seeing this political quagmire playing out in River State?
Well, first of all, I appeal to Nigerians to stand up against this tyranny, against this injustice that is taking place in River State. Nigerians should know that River State is a very important state in the part of the country. More so, it is where the oil is produced. River State is a very important state in the Niger Delta. And anything that happens to River State affects the entire Niger Delta. And so the Niger Delta people are not happy with what is going on in the state. One man cannot seem to be controlling the entire country, entire River State. It's not possible. A man has served as a governor. He has left office as a governor. He will use the police to harass the governor of River State. He will use the police to harass the people of River State while he's in the office and now outside the office. And the police are allowing themselves to be so used. It is ridiculous. So Nigerians should stand up against this, because if that is not done and that is crisis in River State, it will affect the entire economy of River State, because the whole Niger Delta will stand with River State and fight against it. Why on earth would police go to lock up or cut away materials from independent River State Electoral Commission when they know that the election is coming tomorrow? Why will they do what they're doing when the Supreme Court has given the judgment to give local government autonomy? Why will they do what they're doing when the Court of Competent Jurisdiction has empowered the government of River State and the Electoral Commission to go ahead with local government election? All this to cause chaos, all this to cause confusion. And that is why I'm saying we must stand up as supreme people of Nigeria to say no to tyranny. This is tyranny, and this can lead to anarchy. And we don't want anarchy in Nigeria, because we are in a terrible situation now. The man is pushing Nigeria and the state, River State, into a very serious crisis.
I'm talking about
federal government
talking about crisis.
If you don't call the order and the IG to order, if you don't call the IG to order, and this thing continues, there will be crisis in River State.
All right.
When that crisis in River State occurs, it will affect the oil production. Because if it happens, the whole Niger Deltas will start firm to say there should be no oil production until this matter is resolved. So I appeal to Nigerians, I appeal to federal government, and I appeal to Inspector General of Police to take a leaf from Emba. The same man used Emba to commit havoc in River State. After he achieved what he wanted, he abandoned Emba. Emba is a living witness. So my appeal is Rivers supposed to stay calm and go and do the election peacefully.
So, Chief,
let them not destroy anything.
Yeah, definitely you did mention, crisis, and, Nigerians, all over the country, they're going through a cost of living crisis, right now. We're seeing how, the central bank is trying to, reining inflation, at this point. And you did mention how much River State, contributes to oil output in Nigeria. That's over 40%. So, looking at the situation, right now, is there no way that, all these parties can come together, these parties, and say, what, we need to look at the economic interests of River State, and Nigeria? Is there no chance of that, happening in the short term?
Well, the River State elders have tried their best to resolve this matter. The matter went to the presidency, and Mr. President came up with a lopsided arrangement, and the Rivers people were opposed to what he said. Majority of Rivers people want a peaceful administration of the present governor. The former governor has ruled and left. So if he needs peace, let him get peace in the interest of Nigeria. Don't look at this matter as Rivers State. It will be a Niger Delta fight. It will be an Ijaw fight. And when that happens, there will be no oil production, there will be no gas production in Niger Delta. So we need to avoid it. Don't look at it as a parochially, as a Rivers matter. It's never a Rivers matter. This is the matter of the Niger Delta, particularly the South-South, and the Ijaw people. They will fight dirty. So to avoid any fight, Mr. President should call the FCC minister, Nyesom Wike, to order. And the IGP should know that is the IGP for the Federation is to maintain law and order and not to take instruction from somebody. Rivers State is part of Nigeria. The government of Rivers State was elected like the president was elected, and the component part of the Federation. So if you do anything to it, they have a product system. This is a capitalist administration, capitalist economy. Niger Delta is Rivers State. Already, people are not happy with the happenings in Edo. And if you not touch Rivers State, then you are looking for trouble. So please, I will appeal to Mr. President to quickly intervene to avoid crisis in Rivers State. Because what the police is trying to do now is to cause crisis. What the police said, they are not coming. They said, don't go, don't come. Rivers people are capable of maintaining peace. And anybody who said no, the people will rise up and say no to the person. So police should do their job as police officers and allow peace to reign in the state.
Right, and definitely with a lot of tension now with geopolitics, even on the global scene, we don't really need that much. We don't need domestic, trouble, at this point. But let's look at other oil producers now. We see, Nigeria has not been able to develop like other top oil producers in the world, and now we have the politics, the political issue in rivers also, playing into our oil production. We're still trying to battle, oil theft to get our production up so that we can get more foreign exchange. So before this whole political quagmire, what do you think is, keeping us from not enjoying the benefits of being a major oil producer in the world?
Well, let's be factual. Nigeria today have 37 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, which means even if we are producing 3,000 barrels per day, we cannot finish our oil reserve in the next 100 years. We also have 206.53 cubic feet of gas. So we have enough reserve of gas, we have enough reserve of oil. What is important is who is managing these resources. Presently, we have the managing director of NNPC, Bele Kyari, who came into office in 2019 after Mikailiti Baharu retired. And ever since he came in and met oil price at 145, 150 per barrel. Today, the oil price is 100,000 something per liter. And he also met production of 2.3 to 2.4 million barrels per day. That has also reduced to 1.4, 1.6 million barrels per day. And you are now blaming it on oil theft, insecurity. I disagree. What is happening is lack of foresight, lack of management, and trying to handle this project as a one-man project. NNPC is a federal institution, and it falls in within the Constitution of Nigeria. NNPC is guided by the Public Service Rule. And the Public Service Rule is also very clear that when you serve Chapter 8, Article 020810, is very clear that at 60 years or 35 years in service, whichever that comes first, must retire, except university lecturers and judges. Or directors who have served more than 8 years, they must retire, whether they're up to that age or not. So this has not applied. The man has served over 36 years in service, is still in office, and he has not performed well. He has destroyed the fabric of the economy, Nigerian economy, through his policies. Oil price is going on. Oil price controls the economy, the transportation, price of food, virtually everything.
All right,
And when
but
the
Chief.
oil goes up, price goes up.
Right, Chief.
And this is affecting the economy.
Yeah, Chief.
Yes.
Looking at PMS prices, like you mentioned, some would say it's not the fault of the NNPCL. That at the end of the day, we're seeing currency devaluation playing into that. That if the naira was stronger, then we wouldn't have to deal with high PMS prices. What do you say to that?
Why will you not have a weaker naira when you will export your oil instead of producing oil? This man met Warren Refinery working. He met Port Harcourt Refinery working, although athletic. And you want to do turnaround maintenance, you don't stop all of them at the same time. We have 4 refineries in Nigeria, and today none of them is working. You will now export our crude oil. And instead of earning dollars that will consolidate our reserve, you are importing crude oil. And 40% of the reserve is going to importation. Why will the naira not weak? If we are refining locally, we will not spend that money to import. That thereby consolidating our revenue and reserve to strengthen our naira. If we are refining here, we will get other things that comes to the PMS. Crude oil comes with PMS, wax, diesel, kero, PP, carbon black, and others. If you are refining locally, all this will become part of the produce you will get as byproduct of the crude oil. But now you take our crude oil to outside the country, either Malta refinery or anywhere, and after you produce, you bring them back without bringing the other component. You only bring in diesel and petrol. There's no kero for the poor man. So why would your naira be weak? But if you are producing this, you create employment here. But now you are creating employment in the other country. Why wouldn't your naira be weak? And so if we are now producing, Dangote wants to come, you are fighting with Dangote so that you can continue with the importation, thereby depleting our foreign reserve.
But Chief,
we are saying sell our oil in naira to Dangote and the other refinery companies, so that they will also reduce the cost. And you are fighting against that. So how will we go? The best thing to save Nigeria is that this man at January 8 will be 60. Let him retire. And appoint a Niger Delta son or daughter.
Chief, would you say it's a win
as the GMP?
Would you say it's a win that we have a private sector, driven refinery under the leadership of Mr. Mele Kyari? Is that not a win for him?
The NNPC structure is very clear. The NNPC as subsidiary, the corporate headquarters supervise the subsidiary. And the management of the subsidiary lies with the corporate headquarters. And so they give them the policy while they go and do the operations. But if the policies are not favorable to the subsidiary, they cannot function. And that is why the refinery are not function. Fortunately, Dangote Refinery has come. It's a deal. Nigeria has shares in that company, which means by the law of Nigeria, Dangote Refinery will also fall within that public service rule, because the Nigeria has about 25% shares from what we are able to understood. So if Nigeria have shares, Nigeria can have a deal with Dangote. I am giving you crude oil at this price, don't import. Then reduce your price. I don't see how Dangote would not agree. He's a Nigerian. He's a man who has done so much for this country. It's a matter of approach. How do you approach him to see how we can fight inflation, how we can fight high cost, and how we can save our naira?
Yeah,
if the leadership is right, if the leadership is right, I don't think we'll run to a crisis.
Okay.
But we have a very bad leadership that has affected the oil industry. There's no production now. Production is going down. You are saying oil theft. How much oil are they stealing? How many vessels are carrying oil in the Niger Delta? The policy is all right. That is why the oil companies are divesting. Even the local companies here are also dying. You see, you take all the money, you take PIA, the money you are supposed to invest in searching for oil and production. You are using it to search for oil in the north, where oil is not there. Where you have oil, you are not doing seismic operations. You are not encouraging rigs to drill more wells, work over of the old well, and bring the oil well back to a standard where you can be able to produce more. These things are not done. And so what do you expect? The oil production will go down continuously. Our foreign reserve will go down continuously because you are not ready to repair the refineries. You are not ready to make the refinery work. You are not even encouraging Dangote to be able to produce and sell, as well as if they sell the excess to outside country to raise more reserve for Nigeria. So the policy is wrong from the NNPC. You will call federal government. Federal government is advised by agencies. And the present crop of NNCs and the NNPC, particularly the MD, sees NNPC as his personal company. Let me tell you something. NNPC has a tradition. The corporate headquarters have their budget. The subsidiary have their budget. The subsidiaries are given limits as to how much they can spend in any particular contract. They have their own tender board. They have their own approval committee called MESCOM. If the approval is above $2 billion, it means the subsidiary cannot handle it. They will take you to what we call DESCOM, either by the GED or the vice president, between $5 billion and $10 million. If it's more than between $2 billion and $5 billion, DESCOM will sit on it. If it is above $5 billion to $10 million, an NPC management committee will sit on it. If it is more than $10 million, the NPC board will sit on it. But these rules are no longer applying. You untwist the subsidiaries, and even $1,000 must come to one man, and that is a GMD to approve. How can things work?
Okay, all right, Chief.
Don't allow professionals to work.
Yeah, Chief. Let's look at another thing now. That's the host community development. We've been talking a lot about that and how to compensate areas where we get most of these oil out of. And we see recently the Ford Foundation they came up with this host community development trust. Do you think this is a game changer that will get host communities what they deserve?
That is even a wrong move. Let me tell you, when the PIA came, before the PIA, the Niger Delta insisted in getting 10% equity of all the oil companies so that we can have a say in how you operate in our place. We can have a say in the board, how you maintain our environment. These things were thrown away by Melekari and his team, and they said they are giving us 3% operational cost. 3% operational cost. We quarreled, argued, and some of us said, look, let's sign this first as a means of getting something. Then we'll come back. You put obnoxious laws, clauses in the PIA. And the worst of it, you are giving 30% to the frontier. Who are the frontier? New oil discovery. Let's come to the tradition of oil exploration. Right from 1912, when Nigeria went into exploration of oil, the company exploring will spend their own money, explore and get oil. When they get the oil, the federal government will share the cost of production with them. If they don't see oil, it's a total loss. Instead of now giving this 30% to where you have oil, you are taking this into Maiduguri. We just borrowed money, 53 billion naira for oil exploration in Maiduguri. What about the one in Gombe and other areas? You dish out billions of contracts to faceless companies, and they said they're exploring oil. You deceive us. You've seen oil for large quantity. Where is the oil? How many years? We have not been able to supply even Kaduna Refinery. Not to talk of the Nigerian refineries. So this administration of NNPC, led by Melekari, is a deceit, and they are not focused as to how they can improve production. If you want to improve production, we have a lot of reserve in the Niger Delta. That is 7 billion barrel reserve.
Okay.
Why not think of how you can increase this production to 4 million barrel per day? Even at 4 million barrel, in the next 100 years, we cannot finish our reserve. The same thing is applicable to gas. In the next 100 years, we cannot finish our gas. So why not think of where you will get more production? You concentrate more and have a small fraction to where you are trying to find out.
All right, Chief.
You explore.
All right.
You have not been able to discover.
All right, Chief. Definitely, these are your views, and most of what you've talked about, about the Mr. Melekiyari. Definitely, these are all allegations, and we don't really have concrete proof, about all of this. But I want to thank you so much, for coming on and talk to us about these host community issues and how to get our oil production up so we can get more dollars into the country. But thank you so much for coming on today. And definitely this is an ongoing conversation. Thank you so much, sir.
Before I conclude, let me tell you, if Nigeria wants to come out from this quagmire, you must appoint a Niger Delta person to be able to coordinate the oil activities in Nigeria and restore peace.
All right, Chief, no problem.
Stop this play.
All right, thank you.
Melekiyari will retire by 6th of January. It will be 60 years. If you don't retire him 60 years and allow him, Nigeria will sink.
All right, Chief. Thank you for your views there, Chief. Definitely will take most of this into consideration. Thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you.